I got it! I'm Jackie.
Lord of the Rings borrows very heavily from this movie. I'm Sam.
I asked my friend Ron, what's that giant pot called, Ron? I'm Justin. This is we got it. This is Stinker Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at these!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at these!
No!
It stinks.
Stinker Madness.
Hello, welcome to Stinker Madness, the podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. This week on the show, we got a winner from Cannon from 1985, starring Richard Chamberlain and Sharon Stone and Sala from Indiana Jones and Lord of the Rings. From Cannon Pictures. Did I ever say Cannon Pictures? I think I already did.
Yeah, you
It's
did.
worth mentioning twice, though. Cannon Pictures.
Globus and...
Golem and Globus. The good old guys. Currently streaming on Amazon Prime, and you should go watch it. Sam, hello, and your face is there on the screen. We're still remote, as you can probably guess, and you are going to talk about this movie in hopefully very much depth, because I'm on the edge of my seat.
Well, you can just guess that any of the numbers reported around this pictures are probably goddamn
100%
lies.
truthful. It's $7 billion it made on opening weekend. They never lie, Sam.
It made all the money, didn't cost that much. Supposedly, because they shot these films concurrent with King Solomon's Mines and the Alan Quartermain and the City of Lost Gold, they were shot simultaneously.
Right.
Which is dubious when they say that, because there's different directors.
Right.
So they shot... It doesn't even make sense. There's a lot of, like, all of Canon and everything that Canon does is in full effect with this picture.
Mm-hmm.
You have underreported budgets, you've got overreported earnings, and where is the money exactly going? Because Chamberlain signed on early, and there's sort of reports that John Hurt was in talks, and it's not true. It can't be.
No.
You really look at these two pictures, the fact that they're shot concurrently, who's in them, how it's made. They went out after Chamberlain because he hadn't had a picture in a while, and they knew that he was ready for a marathon shoot because he's a veteran of miniseries. There's just no other cast than him for this production. I don't see them trying to get John Hurt.
No.
I also don't see them thinking that there's any universe that they live in where John Hurt would do the movie.
Yes, I would like to work with you, nutsacks. That's a very bad John Hurt.
Yeah, pretty much. There was also supposedly either Golan or Globus was like, oh, we need to get the lady from Romancing the Stone. She wasn't going to... Kathleen Turner wasn't going to do this movie. There's no universe where she does this movie. And the other thing that doesn't support that, the sort of story goes is he says, get that Stone woman, and that's how Sharon Stone gets cast. Because they're like, okay, here she is. But they just picked Sharon Stone because she was pretty and she was there. Because originally Lucinda Dickey was cast for this, and that does make sense because they were trying to put her in every fucking movie they made. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they saw her as being solid gold. And the strange thing of the Lucinda Dickey situation being that she's like, I don't want to do these shit movies anymore, and she leaves, not them firing her is even more odd. But
so for the sequel, Alan Quartermain and Lost City of Gold, which we have not reviewed on the podcast, we'll get to at some point, because they got confused about Romancing the Stone and Sharon Stone for this one. In the sequel, did they get confused with Jewel of the Nile, and they cast the singer Jewel to be Alan Quartermain's babe?
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah,
and then Sharon Stone just like had a fake picture that says, I'm Jewel. Get that Jewel woman. There she is. There she is.
Oh, my God. Hey, I've got a fun fact.
Okay.
since we're talking about the sequel.
Hopefully it's fun.
It is a fun fact.
Okay.
So when they made the second one, The Lost City, that is where Richard Chamberlain met the love of his life.
Oh, really? Okay.
And the current heir to his estate.
Mm-hmm. Steve?
No, I think his name is Robert.
Stedman?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I read it earlier, but now I can't remember what that guy's name is because I only give a shit about Richard Chamberlain.
Right, yeah.
Okay, because this is a huge thing. We'll just do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Were you shocked when you found out he was gay, Jackie?
Yes. Because the very first time I really saw Richard Chamberlain in anything was The Thornbirds, which I fucking love. Right? I have it on DVD. They don't even make it on Blu-ray. If they made it on Blu-ray, I'd buy it on Blu-ray. But he's just such a manly, masculine man.
He's hairy, swarthy.
Yeah, and he just doesn't come across at all like
it's not
like the popular
It
gay guy
wasn't like
persona.
Liberace or George Michael. He was more like the Rock Hudson surprise. Like, what?
Yeah. And so when that was announced, I mean, I was pretty young still, right? I didn't really figure it out until I was much older. But I was like, really? It shocked me. But I was like,
I am shocked.
But then again, I was shocked when Freddie Mercury was announced for being gay as well.
Yes, and quite clearly gay.
And I didn't. Oh God,
well, you were.
I was just a little kid
10,
still, right? And
right.
and same thing with Richard Chamberlain. I just had the biggest crush on him when I was younger.
You still can.
And I still do.
Yeah.
I think he's just one of the most handsome men I have ever seen. And it seems like everything that I've ever watched him in, I just love.
He has that rare ability to play a mountain man and a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he can do anything. And I was reading that it is the largest panty dryout in the history of the world.
I would bet. Yeah.
Yeah, like, all of the panties were shocked.
It would be like if Tom Jones came out and said, yeah, when I was a kid, my penis was boiled off in a weird coffee accident. Like, all the panties are dry. Just giant panties have been cleansed and are no longer good for cleaning up accidents.
Or throwing at Tom Jones.
Or throwing at Tom Jones, correct.
I wonder who started that, throwing your underwear up at the stage.
Tom Jones. He threw his own underwear in his face and was like, that's how you do it. Ha-cha-cha-cha.
Good Lord. So, allegedly, this thing probably cost around $15 million. They say 12.3 is the last sort of report on it. Mm-hmm. They like to try to say that this one only cost 5 and the other one cost the majority of that, and it lost money. But the two pictures shot concurrently probably cost around 15, and they probably made close to 18, so they didn't blow it on these, but they didn't really do what they were supposed to do.
Right, which was blow it, because that's what their intent was to spend every cent of somebody else's money and be like, ha ha, living the dream, baby.
And then get offices at MGM and then pilfer everything, including staplers, and then go back to Israel.
Right, exactly. So this failed no matter how we look at it, even though it made money.
The director, J. Lee Thompson, would leave this production at a certain point. He probably did most of it. And then he went to do Death Wish 4 because that's what J. Lee Thompson had. That's the only reason he has any involvement in canon films is because he's friends with Charles Bronson. They did St. Ives together and they were just fast friends. They're like, well, and St. Ives I really like. But this guy, I mean, he directed Cape Fear and The Guns of Navarone. He's a good director. Right. He shouldn't be doing this. No. And you wonder, because you look at the picture and you're like, man, this did cost a lot because of all the shit they built. Mm-hmm. But they didn't do a good job after the shit was built.
Right.
And they didn't really do a good job building the shit. They just spent a lot of money building the shit. Chamberlain apparently was a huge fan of the script. He was not a huge fan of the production. He was like, I loved it. It was the first thing I'd read that I thought this is funny. This is going to be great. And then they get on set and he's like, this just went to shit immediately. Mm-hmm. Like, all of the funniness in the script is now gone.
I think they had some really good one-liners in this.
Oh, yeah.
And Richard Chamberlain just nails it every time.
Well, It's pretty corny.
I know, but it's great, right?
Yeah.
Like the first one. Follow me. It's a jungle out there.
Yeah, he comes out pretty hot. Yeah, I mean, if I saw this script, I would have the same reaction as him. It's a fun script, and it's probably like exactly what was needed at this point in time in history. You know, a very light adventure, an Errol Flynn-esque adventure to contrast the seriousness of, you know, such dark and doom and gloom movies such as Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Back to the Future. What the hell am I talking about? All those movies are fun. But it would have been a fun thing to look at, and then you see what is happening with, yeah, I mean, even your trailer that you show up in is like painted neon green and has a bunch of bullshit stuck all over it, and you're like, God damn it, my trailer's even a fucking disaster.
So was this movie, I'm assuming it's after Indiana Jones releases?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Several years.
This is part of a rash of films that tried to capture that magic and missed horridly.
Mm-hmm.
Gene Quintana, the writer, speaking of the comedy, he would go on to do Police Academy sequels, which is odd because there's some sort of Sharon Stone tie in there. Sharon Stone, I think, is been reported to be like Miss America or all this. She didn't do any of that. She was a model. She's very pretty. There's no doubt about it.
Sharon, 1980 Sharon Stone. If I had a time machine hit list, she would definitely be on it.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Well, she's not on the time machine hit list. Even though she's not looking great, I would still nail her.
Okay.
Yeah. She had competed in Miss Pennsylvania. She didn't win it. And then she just started modeling and then decided to do acting and eventually does okay after this. Like Verhoeven is what does it for her. She gets noticed in Total Recall. He brings her back for Basic Instinct, and now she's a sex symbol.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, her life was not going great. She had gotten into a really bad marriage, and she was just a disaster. She says that she did the Police Academy movies not because she needed to keep acting or anything. She was just like, it might make me feel better to be on some comedy pictures.
Yeah.
She was apparently so wretched and pissed off all the time during this movie that the crew pissed in her bathtub.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
She was taking milk baths. And they were like, well, she's not going to know it's in there. So several of them just peed and she took a pee-pee bath.
Okay, so obviously when you wear a Trump hat inside of a Mexican restaurant, you're probably going to get, a big loogie put in your burrito. Which is worse, the spit in your food or piss in your bathtub?
Piss in the bathtub.
It's worse?
Yeah.
Okay, why is that?
Because then you walk around with somebody else's piss on you all day.
You got piss on you.
Yeah. I mean, you're a pee-pee.
Yeah. And you go, oh, I got piss on me. I need to take a bath. Oh, no, the bath is piss.
Mm-hmm. Now, what
so she had to drain it and shower, I guess.
What if you were to spit in somebody's mouth that was talking at a restaurant, and then that person went and took a number 3 on your sandwich?
What's a number 3?
It's the old, the old. Yeah, the
Seaman.
deposit. Yeah, Seaman shows up.
Oh my God!
I'm assuming that's worse than a piss bath.
I mean, I still wouldn't want to. I would still rather eat somebody's semen in my burrito and not know because, I'm going to put enough hot sauce on it. I'm not going to taste it.
Well, you're not going to.
And I'm going to be like, wow, this is a really salty burrito. And then, but piss bath, I'm going to be like, does anybody else fucking smell that? And I'm going to be doing that all goddamn day. I'd be like, why does everybody on this set smell like pee-pee?
God, it smells like a bum was here. Like just everything is bum smell.
Yeah, I mean, could they get any cheaper on this set?
We just cast homeless people? You're the homeless person! What?
Yeah.
Not
you
homeless.
can't do anything about it. It's like the other stuff, like, oh, you probably ate spit. You're like, well, I guess it's over with. It's gross, but it's ex post facto. The piss bath, you're laying in piss and you realize it. You can't do anything about it. You're like, I'm in pee. I am in pee.
Man, okay, so the piss bath is the lowest you can go, and Sharon Stone got piss bath. The stink palm. What about the stink palm? Is that worse?
No, it's
Okay.
gross, but the piss bath is really like the only thing you could do worse is a bath made of diarrhea, but no one would get into that.
Right,
You
know.
couldn't fool anybody. It's just like, what is it, chocolate milk bath? Okay, I'll try it anyway. But you don't, because you're like, someone pooped in there. Pee is a silent enemy. It's invisible.
Okay, cleared it up.
Yep.
Science.
Who was she married to at the time? Do you know?
I think it was an investor. I didn't really look that up. It was somebody that she was married to for 5 years. They didn't get divorced until 90, I guess, but it was like a long, drawn out, hard to get out of marriage. And I think it was like happy for about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and he like smelled her one time and then sent her some paperwork, and he's like, "You smell like pee, and here's some paper. Consider it a divorce." And then that movie, because Arnold said that one time. Is that your wife?
Yeah. What a bitch.
What a bitch.
She did really good in Casino. We can't forget that.
She's good.
For all of the ups and downs she had, she was fucking great in Casino.
I don't give a shit what anybody says. Knowing that she was miserable at this time, it's corny and it's way over the top. I think she's fucking fantastic in this movie. I don't think anybody could have done a better job with what she had to work with than what she did here. She's great. She's absolutely great.
Yeah, she's dynamite, and that she's able to combine the ham with the looks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, is they weren't going to find anybody as pretty as her that was going to be able to deliver.
Right.
So it's unfortunate the movie itself is a giant turd. It's ex post facto, it's great. Like now it's like, yay, I'll watch that again. But at the time, it's like, wow, that is a turd of
That
a
is
movie
a
right
shitty
there.
Indiana Jones knockoff. That's for damn sure.
So do you, I don't know about you guys, but when I was watching it, it seemed like her and Richard Chamberlain were pretty good pals.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seemed like she was very comfortable with him, and she was like, I don't really want to kiss your beard face, but
She was comfortable with him because she was wearing the musk of his urine. He was the one that pissed in her bath.
do you think
It
he was
wasn't
one of
him.
them?
In fact, when his memoirs or whatever, I believe he talked about it, is that like everybody really hated her. I didn't think she was that bad.
No, he's probably a very kind man. So
Yeah. And then Jerry Goldsmith scored this.
yeah,
Because we can't forget that Jerry Goldsmith and Alan Silvestri were doing Cannon films at one point. Like Alan Silvestri, how many Academy Awards? Was like, wait, he was at Cannon? And oh yeah, the Delta Force theme still gets used in sporting events because it's that fucking good.
awesome. All right, what else you got? Anything, Sam?
Let's get into
All right,
this.
let's get into this. King Solomon's Mines. So what's going on at the beginning is there's three dudes, and they're all in this, dark, oldie time science professor room, and
They're in a store that sells crap to tourists.
Oh, was this Kazim's store? Or
Yeah, Kazam's store.
Kazam store. Okay,
Yeah.
they're in Kazam's store, and they're examining an idol, and in walks fucking Sala, and you're like, if you've never seen this before, and you just got hit with Indiana Jones, and then all of a sudden Sala's in this goddamn movie, you're like, he's not even a different guy. He's just, Sala has gone rogue. Sala was like, Indy drank the holy water out of the thing. He gave some to his dad, and you know what? He didn't offer me or that Marcus guy a drop. So I am pissed, and I'm mad as hell, and I'm not taking it anymore, and I'm going rogue.
Yeah, he just does it in other movies. It's not just this one. He's done it a couple of times. And this is also before John Rhys Davies just decides to do everything anyone offers him all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he goes into a period where you're like, man, would you stop doing shit? Just stop it.
It's
stop
amazing.
it right now.
Like, when he was cast as, I guess I wasn't paying attention to the dailies at this point in time in 2001, but when I saw him as Gimli, I was like, people are casting this guy in big. He's on. This is a big screen, and John Rhys Davies is on it. What happened? How did that work?
I just saw him in an episode of Ancient Aliens last week. He was doing those things. It was like, stop. Just stay at home for a day.
Yeah, right. Okay, so what the idol is a map to King Solomon's mines. You start out on the tummy, and I guess that's the Great Plains. I don't know what the snatch is. I guess that's the mine. Or I don't know. You see the boobs, and those are big mountains that you got to get to, and then cross the plain of her tummy, and then end up in her hoo-ha, and that's the mine, and there's treasure in there.
No, the mines are in the boobs.
The mines are in the... Then why even... Like, this map is stupid, then. All you got is a belly that's the plains, and then some mountains, and that's... What about her face and her legs? Those do anything?
No, it's just boobies.
God
and they're
damn it.
like, oh, we found the map. It's just a naked lady. Yep, boobies are the real treasure.
So elsewhere, Alan Quartermain, an adventurer, I think is his only job. He's
Wait,
not like
you're
a
not
secret
even gonna
professor or anything.
You're not even going to finish the original scene where they just have this giant booby trap hanging above the door that they kill that one
yeah.
guy.
What's up with that?
And it's his place, the House of Isis.
Uh-huh.
And he has a booby trap that kills people on his door. And when it happens, he's like, my door. And I'm like, well, why'd you set it up like that?
Right.
Yeah. How many people are shoplifting in this store where you're like, you know what? It's time.
Yeah,
It's time to get some home security.
John Rhys Davies essentially kills Rupert, the assistant, and Kazam is like, my God, dude, you're an idiot. What did you think was going to happen when you put a giant spiky booby trap on top of your fucking retail business? Like, who's that for? You know?
I'm telling you, shoplifters, it's a real problem there.
Yeah.
And the shoplifters have to be sort of stopped by the door that locked itself after they came in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's really worried about the shoplifters and then trapping them and killing them.
Right. Like, oh, great. Into town comes a bunch of French tourists. I guess I got to set up the booby trap.
Those ones there, they all had sticky fingers. How can you be sure? Well, they're all dead. That's all the evidence I need.
Their fingers are stuck to the wall in blood. So, anyways, yeah, he's dead. Elsewhere, Alan Quartermain and Jesse Houston are already together. I like that the film just skips past all that like we're supposed to know that they're a team, they're a duo, and what they're doing, and nope, it doesn't even go into any of that. We all have to piece that together later. But anyways, they're tromping through the forest, and they end up to the town of Tungala, which apparently doesn't have roads going to it because the only way to get there is to tromp through the forest.
It's not a forest.
A jungle.
It's a jungle out there.
Yeah, it's a jungle out there.
And that's the first line we hear Quartermain say.
Right. You already said that.
And I just wanted to reiterate it because, he's fucking cool.
It's like
this is a cool fucking dude.
That line to you is as cool as saying Canon Pictures. You got to say it a bunch of times.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, why? There's no road. Anyway, so they end up in this town. It's a rough place, mostly because Sala is, I guess, the goddamn mayor of Tongala. They just happen to go to the one town for some reason. Oh, I guess they got to go to the House of Isis to try to find her dad.
And it seems like a big enough town that there should be a road that gets there.
There should be a road that goes there.
Because they have to, they come out of the jungle and there's just this town.
Mm-hmm.
A giant town with lots of people in it.
Yeah, I think he was just being like, where we're going, we don't need roads. But there's a road. Yeah, nope, back onto the grassy jungle, lady. I'm hoping that a snake bites her shirt off. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's just freelancing because he doesn't really see it being like, oh, you got to go find your dad. This is a freebie. I'll give you some adventure. We got to get there through the jungle.
Right, yeah.
Really? They said that Route 86 takes us right there. No, the jungle.
The jungle. Otherwise, I wouldn't be much of an adventurer for hire, would I, if we just took roads?
And where do you find these adventurers for hire? That's what I want to know. And, like, how do you get yourself set up in this business? Like,
I think it's mostly referrals.
you just hang out in a bar, and then you have, like, a little... You know how they put name tags, and it's like a tent-type situation, so it stays up, and the tent in front of you just says, Adventurer for Hire?
Well, that's what happens at the Mos Eisley Cantina. It's quite clear that Han Solo is just hanging out, hoping somebody's like, that guy looks smarmy, and he's got a giant walking gorilla next to him, so I imagine he's an adventurer. So maybe there's a bar that has adventures in it.
Here in Boise?
Man, I would not hire anybody from that bar.
You guys want to go mountain biking?
Yeah, if you go into a Boise bar and you see a guy wearing flannel, he's not an outdoorsman.
Right?
He's a millennial.
He's a millennial. Goddamn hipster. All right, so Sala is like, he finds out that they're in town. He's like, capture her. She's got the map. Or I don't know why Sala is trying to capture her, because already kidnapped her dad.
Leverage, my friend.
He won't talk.
Okay.
He knows that the treasure is too valuable to be in the hands of the World War I Germans, I guess.
Huh. Why do they need her? He's got the idol. Why do they need her dad?
Well, they're dipshits, and they actually put the idol in, as we'll see later, with the dead assistant.
Right. You must translate the map, says Sala, and then is like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving. And you're coming with me, and I'm going to chase my daughter, and I'm going to leave the map here, and then we're going to just chase her around forever. I'm not a very good villain.
Yeah, and the guy that's not talking, he's like, yeah, also there's like 10 other people in this movie that just know where this thing is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're already there. You've actually got a camp outside of it. I mean,
my favorite, though, is that when we get introduced to these two villains, right? Come and eat your gross breakfast. And there's just a plate of sausages. Some of them are cooked, some of them are not. Right next to a record player.
Yeah, the Wagner joke runs throughout this thing, that Sala hates Wagner, and the German, of course, loves it.
Yes.
The German is Herbert Lom, veteran actor.
Oh, yeah.
And John Rhys-Davies was actually surprised that he took the film. But if you look at what Herbert Lom does after this, it's like John Rhys-Davies' career.
Yeah.
Nice. He's selling toasters on QVC.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Alan and Jesse get separated. She's nabbed. And then here we go. The rest of the movie from this point on is pretty much just adventure shenanigans. We could skip the entire plot and just say adventure shenanigans. Go for the next hour and a half.
It's difficult. I only took 3/4 of a page of notes because the only note that you need to take is peril without any action, really.
Right. Yeah, she ends up on a food wagon after being nabbed, and she's rolling around in lettuce, and then he jumps on the wagon by doing some gymkhana, and then she falls out and gets lost, and he's like, hey, where'd she go?
But to get us to that point, after she's nabbed, they roll her up in a carpet. He attacks the wrong dude.
Yeah.
And then we see her up there with our villains, and they unroll her in the carpet, and she just keeps rolling. And she goes through the cheap fencing that's up there on that balcony, and then the food truck ensues.
And Sala's face when she rolls off the building, he's like, I never thought that would happen. I mean, come on, guys. Bad villains.
Use a shorter rug.
Everyone, all the time. They just horsewhip people when anything goes wrong.
Yeah.
And there's now a food cart with a guy dressed as a lady in it that keeps trying to stand up for some reason. Don't try to get control of the wagon. Just stand up. Everything will be better once you're standing.
Yeah, so it runs all over the town. She falls out. Eventually, she sneaks her way into the house of Isis. And there she finds Kazam. But he tricks her and handcuffs her because he does he know who she is, or is he just like, pretty white lady, I could sell you into the sex trade?
He knows who she is.
Okay.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm going with option 2. He did put a slave necklace on her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
He's also trying to mummify a cat in this scene, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Guy of questionable morals, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Then she's like, let me go. And Alan Quartermain jumps through a skylight that is clearly 3 stories up, lands on a table. The table shatters. None of his bones break. He doesn't even do the barrel roll. He just lands in gun pose. 3
Standing
stories.
in the debris that used to be a skylight in a table.
Right.
I'm going with a lot of thigh workouts.
Strong bones.
Yeah.
Drinks a lot of milk.
Not the bath milk.
Not bath milk. No,
Yeah.
That's not actually milk in there. Okay. All right, so he frees her, and then that's when they find Rupert in the mummy's tomb and the idol that somebody stuck in there. Kazam? Who stuck that in there?
I'm thinking Kazam stuck it in there. Maybe he forgot it was in there.
Why didn't he just sell it to John Rhys Davies?
I don't know. He didn't want to lose it. They're in cahoots still.
Right. So I don't understand. Where should I put this damn idol for safekeeping? Give it away. Get rid of it.
And this is where the hijinks kind of start.
Kind of.
Because
No, they already started.
Oh, yeah.
well, her accident prone getting Richard Chamberlain's character hurt, right?
Mhm.
Quartermain hurt. Because she's chasing the Kazam around with the idol statue trying to hit him with it, and she ends up hitting Quartermain first.
Right.
And then she's about ready to swing at him again, and she puts her hand up like she's going to just wallop this guy, and she hits Quartermain in the head again.
Mhm.
And then he pulls out his gun, and he's like, I need to stop her before she kills me.
Right. I'm going to shoot this bitch. So Jesse punches Kazam very poorly, and he flies back, and he's got a gun, and he starts shooting at him. So what does Quartermain do? He fucking lights up some dynamite and chucks it at him up on this hay bale and was like, you got a choice. Either get that or get the hell out of here. Either way, we're getting the hell out of here, so bye. They run out the door, only to be stopped by Sala at the main door, who backs them back in. And just as fucking Kazam climbs on top of the hay bale, he's got the dynamite. I got it! Kaboom!
Got it!
This was so awesome. This
it's-
is just a guy holding dynamite and then this huge explosion.
Oh, it's just the best gag. I mean, like, this, like, if you do this in Indiana Jones, obviously it's not going to work. It's going to be totally wah, wah, or just out of place. But in this movie, it fits so well and lands so perfectly. It's just like the best joke ever.
And then they keep reusing the joke
Mhm.
throughout the film, which
Got it!
I got it.
And the
Guys, no problem.
Like, when he first pulls it out, you're like, oh, what's he going to do here? What crafty thing? Is he got MacGyver tools? Does Alan Quartermain have all sorts of historically inaccurate gadgets like the Wild West?
He's got a
nope, it's
utility
just
belt.
fucking dynamite.
He's just got dynamite everywhere.
And he has an alarming amount. Like, he's just got dynamite for every occasion on him all the time.
Maybe because the next thing he does is he sneaks out the window and sees Sala and the colonel, the German colonel, talking about their plans, and he gets nabbed by another German guy, and he's like, "Hold on, you mind if I smoke?" Implying that he's got some sort of trick cigar, or maybe it's dynamite. But then he's like, "Ha, fooled you! It's fake dynamite." But then it turns out it's actually really dynamite.
Yeah, he goes, I got it. And then he throws it at the car, and so he can get control of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So he can make an escape.
And everybody dives out thinking that it's dynamite, and then nothing happens. And he gets in the car. Somebody's, I think it's Sharon Stone. She's like, "What's this?" He's like, "Oh, it's a decoy." And she chucks it out, and it fucking explodes. So he's clearly got decoys, because otherwise he'd be like, "No, that's all dynamite." But he doesn't know which ones are decoys and which one are dynamite. This guy's a loose cannon.
He is crazy.
Well, he put D on there for decoy and D for dynamite. So they kind of got mixed up a little when he was packing.
Oh, I'll remember which one's which later.
Yeah. Well, it's more exciting now, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, so
now at this point, he's driving. The Colonel and Sala are now in their own vehicle, and rather than chase each other, they just spin cookies in town square opposite one another for about 3 minutes.
And the only reason Alan Quartermain escapes is because of prayer time, whatever that's called in the Muslim religion. I can't remember. Prayer o'clock. Where
yeah, but they're also saying that they're in Africa.
There's a lot of Muslims in Africa, Jackie.
Can we cut that?
What I said or what you said?
What I said.
No.
God damn it! I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm an ignorant asshole. I apologize.
Yeah, isn't Somalia like one of the biggest Muslim nations there is? Yeah.
And this was shot in Zimbabwe, and the Arab League there was really not keen on the portrayal of Arab people in this picture.
Yeah.
There was some problems there.
Yeah, I bet.
But only half the town, responds to prayer time because they're able just to drive through crowds and crowds of people to leave town. But just in that one section, everybody gets down.
Well, the thing about Tongala is I do believe that they call it Little Jerusalem. It's very divided. Half of it's Muslim, half of it's Jewish. And then the Christians are trying to come into. It's a very religiously torn town, Tongala. The made-up place. I don't know. I don't know anything about no Tongala.
Hey. John Travolta is not in this movie, and I would appreciate if you didn't bring him in. Okay?
It's Tongala. Wow. All right, so the next morning, we learn about a little bit about Alan Quartermain's best bro, a boo-boo.
Who is a fraidy cat when it comes to technology.
He's a very large man and has got some phobias.
Moving vehicles frighten him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So he runs in front of the car,
right.
Which seemed odd.
Yeah.
But then when he gets on the train, he'll get in and on things, but then he sits on the train the entire time that they're on the train.
With his eyes closed.
With his eyes closed and his hands over his face.
Uh-huh, because he's scared of it.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a good technique if you don't want to eat bugs.
Yeah.
And a fly hits you in the forehead. That's going to hurt if you're on top of a train. You're going pretty fast.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, that one didn't look like it was moving all that fast.
No. I mean, they just ran onto it. I mean, they had this whole elaborate scheme to stop the train and climb on top of it, but they just ran up to it and got on. The train is also crawling with Germans.
Yes.
Who are very unobservant. They have turret guns, an entire car of just guys holding turret guns on what appears to be sentry duty, and they didn't notice 3 people running up onto the train, including one giant man.
Nope.
Bad at sentry duty.
I mean, maybe they were nervous because they saw the car on the tracks and they're like, they're not going to slow down. And they were having the exact same conversation as Quartermain and Sharon Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, it didn't stop. Did you see that fire? And that's when they got on.
Yeah, maybe. Quartermain's going to head towards the caboose because that's where he thinks that Jesse's dad's at. And so his strategy is to kind of sneak there and crawl underneath the cars. He ends up getting in a big fight under there and almost losing his head. And then I kind of thought that this guy was going to get ran over or something, but he just kind of gets tossed aside. While Jesse is like, all right, see you later, boo-boo. I'm going to go find my dad. And she uses the power of strutting to get past the Germans.
Strutter.
Until the dumbest part of the movie happens, where Alan Quartermain stumbles into a car full of armed Germans, and instead of getting into a shootout with them and adventures, he instead sings and dances Camptown Races past them.
I thought this was funnier than the dynamite joke.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, because he pops in there and he's like, haha, and then they all point guns at him and he's like, good job. You guys are good at this. Okay, let's do a song. I think he pulled it off really well, considering it shouldn't have been able to pull off at all.
He Bugs Bunnies his way past German soldiers. That's what happened. All right, so they get to the caboose. And Sala and the German colonel are in there, and they're torturing Dr. Houston very much. Like, they're beating the shit out of this guy. I don't think he made it.
Well, they broke, what, three whips in this scene?
Right. Indiscriminately just smacking him with whips. So, yeah, he's not doing good. And then Jesse falls in to the cab. Bullets start flying all over the place. Quartermain ends up hanging off the goddamn side of the caboose. Sala sends up a big sledgehammer guy to knock him around, and he ends up getting chucked in between cars and then sliding underneath the train, only to grab onto a chain that happens to be on the end of it.
He water skis behind the train.
He water skis behind the train. Oh my god. And it's like, this is the Megaforce moment of the whole movie. Like,
yeah, there's a bunch because they're doing the same thing. It's really bad rear projection.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, oh, Megaforce.
It's so awesome. Oh, man. So, thankfully, the rebels of the country, I don't know who these guys are, they arrive, and they start shooting up the train, and that distracts Sala and everybody enough to allow Quartermain to get back on, where Dr. Houston is about to be raped by a giant German man.
Yeah, the dad.
Yeah, this guy prefers older gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
But fortunately, Quartermain kills him by turning his crotch into a giant crater with a shotgun.
I mean,
hard to keep it PG-13 if they show any of that actually happening.
Wow. That is, whoa. This didn't fit in this movie. A guy who's like, I find you very attractive. And Sharon Stone's like, oh, thank you very much. I'm not talking to you. Also, it's raping time. Ew, what's going on in this movie? And then he gets his fucking balls blown off with a shotgun. He gets shot so hard in the balls, it throws him into the roof.
Yeah, I loved that part.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'm like, yes, eat shit, rapist.
But whoa. Whoa.
Oh, if it could only work out that way for every rapist.
Yeah.
You think things are going well, and then kaboom, you will be peeing out of a tube for the rest of your fucking life.
That guy's fucking dead, Jackie.
No, he doesn't have an abdomen anymore.
No, you can't get shot in the balls with a shotgun and live.
His testicles left through his back.
Yeah. And I'm assuming Quartermain used both barrels.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Fuck that
2
guy.
nuts. 2 shots. Math seems right.
Yep.
And now you're in 2 pieces. Oh my god. And so Quartermain is free to disconnect the caboose, and they drift away, but not before he's like, "Hey guys, I got it," and then fucking launches it like he's goddamn Brett Favre at the moving train, and ends up blowing up the back of the goddamn train. Like, he doesn't need to be an adventurer; he needs to play for the Jets.
Yeah, you should probably say he has some more dynamite.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to understand. He's got it
Mm-hmm.
if they haven't been paying attention to that's the dynamite joke.
Oh, okay. That you've told 6 times.
I got it! And then he throws it.
I'm pretty sure they got it.
Yeah. And he's so excited to fucking light these people up. Like, not only is he just shot a rapist in the balls, but now he's going to blow up a fucking back of a train, and he is stoked.
Yeah, and the German colonel at this point starting to realize why Sala doesn't like him. It's like, oh, I thought he was just a nuisance. That guy's running around with like a crate of dynamite in his trousers. He's fucking dangerous.
So they've rescued the dad. She reunites with him, and they move back to New York. And Quartermain goes back to the bar with no name and looks for more adventure until the sequel. So it's a good wrap up.
Or does he?
No, the movie's over, guys. And there's 2 lines that are spoken that totally has now shifted the plot, saying, Alan Quartermain, you are hired to take me to King Solomon's mines now that my dad is not in this movie anymore. And he's like, okay.
Sounds good. I brought dynamite.
I haven't used it all up yet.
Well, and the thing is the dad is like, hey, you can't let them get the treasure. This has been my whole life's work. And Quartermain's going, malaria, helping this old fucking fool out, you know, because he doesn't believe in the mines at this point, right?
Right.
He's like, but then I get to spend more time with her, and maybe something will happen. And he's like, what else am I doing? $100 and I'll do it.
God, if only things could go my way, maybe she and I will end up in a hot pot later. All wet and juicy. How do you like your dinner, Alan? Awfully hot and awfully wet. Okay. All right, so they're in. They're going to go find the mines. They see a plane fly overhead. They follow over to it, and they attempt to steal the plane. And then adventure shenanigans happens.
Adventure shenanigans. She does cookies in the plane. Now the second time that just spinning cookies is a substitute for action in this movie.
Right.
Yeah, this seemed to be the longest scene for me for the entire movie was the plane scene. I'm like, oh my God. But then when they finally get up in the air, I was back in because there was a chicken scenario.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he jumps on the wing. Alan Quartermain eventually jumps on the wing. He's dangling there. She doesn't know how to fly a plane, but somehow she gets it up in the air, even though she doesn't even know what the stick is. And then the Germans down on the ground send, I guess, the Luftwaffe after her. And this guy, or I guess they didn't have that at this point, the Red Baron. And he's like, oh, I see you're flying very bravely at me. Oh, we're going to play chicken. Oh, this should be fun, yeah.
For a minute, I thought it was Martin Mull, but it isn't.
Yeah, right. Kind of seems like him. And it ends with Alan Quartermain kicking this man out of the sky.
I thought this was so awesome. Like,
this might be my favorite part of the movie.
There's no way to end this scene well, right?
Right.
Just kick him in the back of the head. Fuck.
And then he goes down and explodes. I've never seen anybody win a dogfight in air by kicking the other pilot.
Right. I mean, who knows? Maybe it should be trained a little bit more. It's a good tactic. I didn't see those Top Gun bastards doing any of this shit.
That's why North Korea gets away with so much, because their jets have holes underneath the feet. Everybody's worried about
They've got Fred Flintstone planes.
Yep.
Yabba dabba doo. I saw that there was this company. They're called Soul Soup, and they've got this very racy ad campaign where they take world leaders and put quotes in their billboards. Like the world leader said it, and so they're Kim Jong-un. He's got a big smile on his face, and he says, soul.
Good Lord.
Because of, South Korea.
Good God.
I was like, whoa, man. I don't know if I want to work for you guys, but I respect the hell out of what you're doing. And the Trump one was, it was their Mexican tortilla soup that they were advertising. He was like, I love Mexican people. Fucking hilarious. Great stuff, guys. Keep it up. All right. So they're flying around. They see Sallah and his crew out marching around on the ground. Don't know where they're going. I guess they're just going to King Solomon's Mines, even though they don't know the path, or somebody does. I don't know. And so they decide to buzz bomb them. Just leave them alone. You got a plane. Just go. Get out of there.
Yeah, it's more fun to watch the two villains get dropped on their rears.
Yeah, but then their plane gets shot up.
It actually flirts with action here, too, because they buzz him a couple times. Sharon Stone finds some bombs, and then they blow some stuff up. There's people scattering everywhere. You're like, oh, there's going to be some action. They're going to get into... Nope, it's resolved by an elephant stampede that was mostly unannounced and just came out of nowhere.
Right. Huh, all right. And their plane gets shot up, and so they have to... not crash land it, they just jump out of it.
Yeah, get close enough to the ground, you just roll.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
There's a lot of flight schools that took notes here and be like, oh, you can just kick the other plane and just jump out whenever you want. I didn't think about any of that.
I mean, I was told any landing you walk away from is a good one. They didn't even land. Why bother?
And I love the toy plane
Yeah.
that falls, and you're like, what? That's not even the same fucking color.
Right.
I think it was like bright yellow, and their plane is like green.
Uh-huh. And of course they jump out right in front of Boob Mountain. So
Oh, yeah.
They're almost there. Which is weird because they walk up Boob Mountain right into a camp of cannibals. Like, you didn't see this giant camp of cannibals? I mean, come on, guys.
Well, there was just the one guy.
The one guy.
Yeah, up on the hill, and so they were going to go talk to him. But then when they got up there was a whole army behind him, and then they all rushed in from every side.
No, when you see the shot later of them, their camp that they don't get taken to, they're there, they're at it. It's pretty big. Quartermain is not good at navigation or avoiding cannibals.
That's why he brings so much dynamite. It's sort of a leveler. He's like, I'm not good at this at all. It's going to go sideways on us, and I'm going to have to blow something up a lot.
Yeah, except for right here, because the cannibals have a giant cauldron, and they're putting some Hassenpfeffer in it, and they're going to put some people in it. Even though Quartermain and Jesse think they're about to go free, they have a total, they're going to eat her, and then they're going to eat me. Oh, my God. Moment. So then they're put in the cauldron.
They're able to escape by knocking it over, and then it starts tumbling, and then all of a sudden they're in the gravitron.
Right?
And we have to notice this because if you still live by a fair that has they call it a starship something else or wherever you're at, if there's still a gravitron, you got to do it the right way. They didn't do it the right way. You always have to have a pint and a corn dog before you get in there. Mm-hmm. And when you get out of the gravitron after you get in it, directly after having a pint of beer and a corn dog, you are ready to leave the fair.
Battlestar Puke Lactica, I believe.
There you go. Their gravitron harmlessly comes to rest. They're in love now, but they're about to be eaten by lions. And this is another thing that, avid outdoorsmen can learn from them. Like pilots are learning things from them. Mm-hmm. If a pride of lions is about to eat you, just start humping.
Just make out, yeah.
And they'll watch and you'll be fine.
Lions love human chemistry. It's a known fact. I mean, Simba would just sit there and spank it. He wasn't even choosy about humans. Timon and Pumbaa would be, getting it on. He'd be like, oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're not even going to go there?
Nope, I sure am. I started, and then I was like, nope, you know what? I'm going to shut the fuck up. That's what I'm going to do. I've already made one terrible comment about religion in this episode. I certainly don't want to say anything else.
He's going to put it in the circle of life.
Yeah. It's Akuna no thanks.
It means go fuck yourself. You're grossing me out. All right. You skipped over some stuff here, Sam, because while they're rocking the cauldron back and forth, the cannibals don't really give a shit. They're not trying to stop it. They're like, not even like, hey, you guys, just sit there and get cooked.
There's nothing they can do. I mean, the layout, they're probably all just sitting there going, you know what? That wasn't the best design.
That, and we put him in a pot with dynamite in his pockets and bullets.
And yeah, bullets. Like, they're fully clothed. I mean, that's not how cannibals work, guys. They shoot you and kill you first and then cook you. You don't get cooked alive in your clothes with shotgun shells and dynamite. That's going to be some pretty icky food.
And it has whatever they ate yesterday in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Man, that Alan Quartermain gave me some explosive diarrhea because the dynamite that I ate.
Yep, that was fucking lame.
Okay. All right. So also they died when they rolled down the hill, Sam. They're dead.
They're dead.
Yeah.
This is about the third time.
Mm-hmm. While they're making out, it's really gross because she just eats his beard. They don't even kiss on the lips. She proceeds to open mouth kiss his beard.
Yeah, and you get to see a generational gap in acting school right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because he came from, you just press each other's faces together. You're supposed to turn this way. I turn this way. They can't tell that we're not actually kissing. Whereas she's been trained to just fucking make out with him.
Get some beard.
Just make out with him. And he's like, what are you doing? You're trying to make out with me. You just press the faces and you turn. And she's like,
well, they're freed from the lions because back up on the hill, the Germans have showed up and killed all of the cannibals.
Like a turkey shoot. This is gross.
Yep.
They're like really genociding these people. It is indiscriminate and horrible.
I mean...
Well, and they are just going around looting the bodies as well as they go. I mean, we see this guy's got all these necklaces. It's pretty awful.
Hey, this cannibal's got a finger necklace. Your ear necklace sucks, man. Check this one out. Yeah, well, this one's got a penis necklace. No, those are fingers. Dude, cannibals eat the penis. You don't know shit. Stupid German.
Or I was talking about the gold necklaces, but okay.
Oh.
Yeah, this isn't Universal Soldier, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, they're cannibals. What are they doing with gold necklaces?
Well, as we already know, that we kind of glazed over this, the tribe leader actually has a necklace from King Solomon's mine.
Okay. Very important.
So, yes, there's like 10 people in this movie that already know where it is.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Jesse and Alan, they get picked up as they're walking around by the tribe of the Tree People, who have decided that the world is so bad that they must change it. And in order to change it, they must be upside down.
They must be upside down.
It's literally, the fabled Tree People. They hate the world so much that they must be upside down to change it. What? What?
What
does that do?
And they're like the best dry cleaning service ever.
Yeah.
Right? And they do their laundry.
And she's sitting there just like looking at them like they are elves or something that she has never seen before.
Yeah.
They're these magical creatures that she's always heard fairy tales about. No, they're just people hanging upside down.
They're idiots.
Oh my God.
I mean,
they're really good at laundry.
Yeah, they're really good at laundry. They're very good launders. I mean, those not Maharaji, the dudes that, protest Vietnam and, burst into flames. Those guys were protesters. I mean, you talk about dedication, about changing the world. You light yourself on fire in the middle of the street and just sit there. That's dedication. These guys are upside down. Call CNN. We have found
a society of rope burns.
Yeah. I mean, Gandhi, fuck you, buddy. These guys are upside down.
How long can they be upside down before they get sick from it?
Well,
because the blood's going to rush into your head.
That's how you change the world, Sam.
Okay.
But they do give her an awesome crown. And at this point, you abandon King Solomon's mine.
Fuck this. That crown's got the world's, fuck the Hope Diamond, too. That diamond is giant. She is rich. And she's the queen of the Tree People.
Which doesn't make sense why they then drop them off with the violent tribe.
Right? Here's your free ride to King Solomon's mine. We'll just stop you about right in the middle of this death tribe.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But they chopped down all the trees, and we don't have a way to swing upside down, and we're not walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't walk upside down in air.
Yeah, that would be like, somebody on a fast eating, we got to be upside down and change the world. Okay, good luck, guys. I hope it works out for you. So yeah, they're surrounded by this new tribe, and they're taken in front of the witch doctor, and I guess he says death by Unga Bunga, because Alan Quartermain is hung upside down and above a pit of alligators. All right, so he's about to die. Jesse's pleading to the queen for him, like, I love him. Please spare him. And then a boo-boo shows up in an explosion. I guess that's his power.
Or he just snuck off with some of the dynamite.
It's like, I gotta make an entrance like I'm fucking Batman.
Yeah, he does. And then he disputes her leadership, says that he's the king, and then shows off some rosacea.
Yeah.
I believe that's an alligator, or it's supposed to be an alligator.
What?
Yeah.
He's got some gunk on his tummy. And that makes him the goddamn king of, what? Boo-boo, what, who, when, how, what is going on?
It's like there's just peanut butter on his stomach and it dried up and got flaky.
Uh-huh. They're like, our savior, he bears the sign. Everybody bow down.
He bears the sign of Jif.
The chosen one. It's the best peanut butter spread that there is. He's got it on his tummy. Let's go. Okay, so that is enough for Quartermain to get free, and they start beating everybody up. But then the Germans have showed up as well, and within 30 seconds of a boo-boo claiming usurping the throne of this tribe and being their king, their entire village gets exploded by mortar fire. So the king of what?
Yeah, not the first great day of kingdom
God
there.
damn it!
But I want to interject here that they take Sharon Stone's magnificent crown and give it to this old hag, right?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I don't know, maybe I'm a bastard. But when they drag me over there and that crown is sitting on her lap, I'm reaching over there and ganking that back. Like, fuck you, you old bitch. And then I'm going to hit her in the head with it.
Yeah. Well, that's not what... I mean, yeah, that's you. That's what Sharon Stone should have clearly done. But she gets dragged into a cave, and Alan Quartermain's like, let's go, let's follow her. But they got to take another way because the cave door's closed. So they finally get in there. The Germans are also delayed by quicksand, which Sala then shoots all of the Germans and walks across their corpses so that he can walk across quicksand, which I think stuck in the Colonel's craw a little bit. You killed all my guys. I don't like that.
I think he's more pissed that he didn't think of it first.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And that we also have to mention that in between shots right here, Sharon Stone in a deleted scene, or I don't know what happened, but she's got hot pants now. Her shorts are much shorter and flared open at the hip.
Yeah. Maybe it was, I don't know.
We are now able to see some buns.
A little bit. Okay. So she now is being held captive over a lava pit, I think. And I think that they have dipped her shiny crown in the lava, and now it's molten hot, and they're going to put it on her head and be like, suck it, bitch. You got crowned and you're dead, like they did in Game of Thrones to Daenerys' brother.
Yeah.
No, because the old woman, the old hag, still has the crown.
Oh, then what the fuck is happening?
A man in the iron mask is happening right now.
They're going to replace her head with a hot diamond head.
Okay.
And it's not going to be fun. But Mbubu and Quartermain show up and somehow rescue her, even though time and space doesn't work and it's more dubious than anything else that happens in this movie, up until they go into the next room to reveal that the true history of Africa is magic white people frozen in crystals.
Right.
I thought those were supposed to be like large diamonds. And they're like, oh, these are our past queens. And they're like Cleopatra. And they've got her as like this really young woman that looks, I think it's supposed to be Sharon Stone.
No, it's Sheba. The boobs are Sheba's boobs. The boob mountain is Sheba's boobs, and she's like, there she is, Sheba. She looks just like you, Sharon Stone, because it is Sharon Stone. Which I think is saying that's why the tree people put a crown on her, because she's like, they're like, you're Queen Sheba, and this old hag is like, bitch, you can't be Queen Sheba. I'm Queen Sheba, even though I'm not a white person. Wow, Canon.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that she's like the crazy cat lady of Africa. She's just nuts.
Right?
Nothing that she says makes any sense. It's just loud noises.
Uh-huh. Man. Okay. So the Team German has also ran into Shelob because, Lord of the Rings again. Got a giant fucking spider in this cave. God damn it.
It's not good. One of its fangs falls off in the shot.
Right?
It also has rabies.
Yeah. They just stuck some Alka-Seltzer in its mouth. Alan and Jesse, though, they found the treasure room. And so they're loading up. They're loading up their pockets. But they get trapped in there because the old hag has hit a secret button because she knows all this shit. And the ceiling's now coming down. But outside, the colonel, he's killed Sala because he was like, you shot my men, you clever bastard, good ideas, now die. And shoots him like 6 times. And after he shoots him, while Sala's laying on the ground, he does that like Joe Pesci thing where he's still shooting him while he's on the ground.
He's making good measure. He's like, I don't trust you to die. I'm going to empty this thing in you.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What an end to Sala. I thought he was going to be a bigger deal than that. Oh, anticlimactic for him. So now the roof is dropping, but they prop it up with the treasure, thankfully. But then the room floods, and they're about to die. She confesses she loves him, but I don't think he hears it because he was already underwater, and he's like, yeah, glub, glub, I can't hear that.
He's like, I'm moving to Hawaii with the makeup guy on this movie.
Right?
Yep, that's exactly what happened, Sam.
And then the colonel dynamites them free. I think he's trying to get in the treasure room, so he blows up the entrance and frees them with dynamite.
Yeah. And then he goes in and does the same thing they did.
Mm-hmm.
Starts filling up his pockets with jewels from very carryable buckets rather than just picking up one of the fucking buckets.
I also like that his dynamite caused the collapsing roof to retract. Because it's not, the roof is not collapsed in there.
Oh, no, it's just on a spring, so once
dynamite.
the door's open, it just goes right back up.
Okay, and you blow up the door, it goes back up, I guess, too. All right, so he's getting all loaded up, but guess what? Sala isn't fucking dead. Shot 7 times, but he did that Clint Eastwood thing with a stove top chest plate.
No, it's a mithril vest. It's fucking Lord of the Rings shit again.
Oh, shit. There is a little sparkle to it as well.
It is. It's a mithril vest. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and so he makes the colonel eat the treasure. Eat it! Now swallow!
Yeah, I'll cut you open later. And then the colonel finally realizes, he's like, wait, all of this treasure's in buckets already. We can just grab it and walk out together.
No, eat the treasure. I will not eat the treasure. Eat the treasure. Okay. Oh. So he eats the treasure. And Abubu is also in the cave, and he's found the old hag queen, and she says something crazy cat lady like and dives into a pit and then explodes.
Which causes the mountain to start erupting.
Yep.
She is the shot at the Death Star. Like,
no, she's thrown herself into the fires of Mount Doom.
Yeah, it starts a chain reaction. Okay. So that causes Sala to then be crushed by rocks.
And then the Colonel shoots the roof some too to like for good measure and like really crush the shit out of him with these rocks.
And then he catches up to Quartermain and Jesse, who are getting away, and is like, "Give me the treasure." And they're like, "Okay, I'm going to set it on this rock, which is right next to this booby trap rock." And he's like, "Hooray!" Steps on the booby trap rock, falls into the water that we thought before was like boiling acid water, but no, there's a Loch Ness monster in there.
I believe it's an undead hippo.
An undead hippo.
It does look like an undead hippo. You're absolutely right. And it just pushes him back and forth. It's only got one way it's moving here.
There's a guy on the other side of the rock wall playing a singles hungry undead hippo.
So he's dead. The diamonds come back up, with the rock. And they go to grab him, and Abubu's like, "No, you can't take the diamonds. They stay with the mountain." Why the fuck did you bring us here, Abubu? God damn it!
Did you get my crown from that old crazy bitch? Because if anything, that was given to me by a different tribe, and I'm keeping it.
Fuck you, Abubu. All right, so guess what? Sala isn't dead. He's still going.
And the production has just a little unintentional comedy left in it because the stuntman looks nothing like Richard Chamberlain at all. He looks like he could probably double for Bruce Campbell, but not Richard Chamberlain.
Right.
He's got black hair and he's much thicker. It's ridiculous.
So they tussle, him and Quartermain, and somehow Sala gets lit on fire, consumed by flame. He's not dead. He's still going at it. And in fact, he's saying dialogue while on fire.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm on fire dialogue. It's like, remember last 2 seasons ago you had me at the tree and you thought you were going to get me, but you didn't. Now I'm on fire and you think I'm going to die. No, I'm not going. I'm just going to keep talking even though I'm burning alive.
There's no oxygen where how are you doing that? Said Quartermain. That's amazing. You should take this on tour, Sala. But he doesn't. He falls into the hot tub and I think explodes as well.
Yeah, the lava explodes people.
Yeah.
But he explodes above the lava.
He had too much dynamite in his pants, too. They're all taking notes from Quartermain at this point.
Okay. So I guess Sala's dead now. Question mark. Which then, so the mountain's coming down. Alan pole vaults his way across the hot tub of lava, which then also explodes in very bad effects, blowing him out of the cave, rolls down the hill. They walk away as the whole mountain explodes, and the mat work is terrible because the explosion's in front of them. It's awful.
Yep. It's in front of them.
Yep.
It's the 4th of July celebration from a small town near where they're filming, and they're like,
yeah,
just use it.
And the only way to do it right, and they think that they had to move the camera in the shot or something like that, because you have to get a blank static shot with nobody in it, then the shot you want, the camera has to not move, and then you can use the 2 with the explosion to actually do your mat work, but I think they had to move the camera, so they just couldn't do it.
Right, exactly. And so they walk down the hill, and Abubu is like, "Oh, sorry you can't keep diamonds. Those are for the mountain that just got blown up. But you've been rewarded in your own way by the memory of it all." And they're like, cool story, bro.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, Abubu.
And then they push him out, shut the village doors, and then the village has a fucking party.
Yeah. They're like, oh, the real treasure is the memory of experience. Also, you're not invited to the dance party.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck off.
Well, the dance party is because they finally got rid of all the white people. Yeah! Woohoo!
They didn't want to. I mean, he's doing them a favor. They're going to look like idiots dancing in there.
Oh, yeah, right.
You seen white people dance?
But they did keep a couple diamonds. Pretty big diamonds. Real big diamonds.
Yep.
So
that's the kind of diamond I want for my next wedding ring.
Okay, I'll work on that.
It's as big as my hand.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, do you see this?
Again, bigger than the Hope Diamond that
Yeah.
is in the Queen's crown. Probably going to be pretty rich. All right. So my first question. So Abubu is a fucking prick, right?
Yeah.
Like, his idiom is that he the entire time. Well, I mean, let's really go back. I kind of think like there was an Outcast situation, not the cool band from the 2000s, but the movie we did with Hayden Christensen and Nick Cage, where he is in line. He's the heir to the crown of this mean tribe, and his brother is in charge of the army, or his sister, I guess. And so she kills the king, and then he's got to go into exile, and that's where he finds Quartermain, and he's like, yeah, I'll work for you. I'll work my way back and become king. But he's not there to help Alan Quartermain at all.
No, he's there to protect the secrets of the mountain.
Then
And the lady, I'm not really sure how she gets to be in charge, because he's gone, I guess, because they're like, you don't have the peanut butter belly. You are not the rightful... I don't even know what to call the person leading this tribe.
well, he says king.
Okay,
Lulu says
he's the king.
So, yeah. So why doesn't he just kill Alan Quartermain? Like, oh, you're going to try to find King Solomon's mine? Okay, well, you're dead. I snapped your neck while you're sleeping. Now I'll go back up the hill, and we'll just defend against the Germans.
Well,
Sort
they
of.
hadn't
They
gotten the guns for the alligators yet. So they had to buy some time.
So then he's using Alan Quartermain to stall?
Yeah, so that he can get the guns for the alligators.
So Abubu, Alan Quartermain's assistant in disguise, used him and risked his life to meet his own ends. I think Abubu probably should have got punched in the face by Alan Quartermain.
He's
and
too tough.
Jesse.
I don't think Alan Quartermain would want to punch him.
Yeah, maybe not.
Because he beat up he sort of threw the big guy off the train. He didn't really beat him up, but
Right.
Alan Quartermain hurt his hand punching that guy.
That's true. Yeah. So, yeah, Abubu's a prick. His diplomacy, now that he's king, is going to go poorly. Who's next?
So is it just me, or is King Solomon's mines not very much treasure?
Well, I mean, those diamonds are big, Sam. You don't need a lot of them when they're that big.
Well, because we know so much about the Knights Templar, because we just watched so many very accurate films portraying them, there's so much treasure. It filled up ships and took hundreds of guys to get it all out. This is like 2 treasure chests. Yes, any one person would be very rich, but this is not the treasure of the earth.
It's way less treasure in volume than even the Goonies treasure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, King Solomon, like, he wasn't working very hard.
No, he is definitely a liar about his wealth. He's like, hey, ladies, I've got a yacht. Oh, yeah? And then they get there and it's a fucking dinghy. Come on, babes, let's party.
It's his dad's fishing boat.
Yeah. Actually, Boo Boo's just been spending it.
Right?
That GIF doesn't by itself.
Yeah, the treasury's getting a little low, Boo-Boo. Turns out I'm not a very good king. Yeah, no, it sucks. Jackie, question?
So, do you think they have that awkward conversation later, Quartermain and Jesse? Like, did you hear me when we were about ready to drown?
So, yeah.
And I think my diamond is better than your diamond, so I'm not really going to give this to you. Like I said, I was when we first left the village. This one's mine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you think that she doesn't actually have any feelings for him, and just said that in the heat of passion, as declared at the end of Speed. In the heat of the moment, relationships usually don't work out.
Yeah, so it's like when you go to a scary Halloween film with somebody, right? And you hold their hand and you feel more connected to them than you normally would.
Right.
Is it that?
Yeah. Or when you go to a scary film and you cut a hole in the bottom of the popcorn and put your penis in it. Very similar to that.
And the salt burns?
No, she grabs your dick. And then, you know, she's like, I'm holding your penis. And it's okay because it's during a horror film. But then after the movie's over, it's pretty weird.
No, usually what happens is you put it in there, and then she turns to you and says, I don't even like popcorn. And then you got to get after it yourself. And she's like, man, you're really getting after that popcorn. But you're just, you're jacking off in popcorn.
I usually do it wrong and put the hole in the soda cup. And so I just end up with Coke everywhere. But
You're
my
like-
penis still ends up in the cup.
I just eliminate all of the middlemen and squirt the hot butter directly into my pants.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think she doesn't love him, Jackie. I think she is. I mean, the sequel, she's in it, and so we know what happens. But their relationship is based off of lies.
And the fact that she's thinking, oh, he's just not showering because we're out in the middle of the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's just how he fucking is.
That's how he is.
He's just stinky.
He did not like those upside down people washing his shirt.
No, I didn't ask for this. All right, my final question. Well, this is a two-parter. Richard Chamberlain or Harrison Ford as adventure guy? Who does a better job?
Richard Chamberlain.
Okay. Just general adventure guy. If you're casting adventure guy, where are you going to go with? Harrison Ford or Richard Chamberlain?
I just don't know who's better adventure guy than Harrison Ford ever. I'm really going to give Chamberlain the chops, though, because Shogun's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very good in it, but Harrison Ford is adventure guy.
He's adventure guy. Yeah, I'm going to go with Harrison Ford, too. Sorry, Jackie. However, Sharon Stone versus Kate Capshaw.
Who's Kate Capshaw?
Steven Spielberg's wife. What's her name? Danny in Temple of Doom?
Her name is Shut the Fuck Up. Stop it.
Shut it.
I hate her in that movie.
They're the same character. Both, you know, ew, this is gross and too much adventure and I can't look. Damsel in distress characters. Dude, Sharon Stone kicks her ass.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, sorry, Kate Capshaw. You stink in that movie. All right, Sam? Jesse,
My last question would be that piece of trivia I didn't put in is that beyond everything else that Golan Globus does that's so ridiculous and how this is all of it working at once and all of their bad ideas and all of their poor intentions, they marketed this and they went after it hard because they did this movie to coincide with the 100-year anniversary of the release of the first Alan Quatermain novel.
Okay.
Has anybody ever fucked up anything more than they fucked up Alan Quatermain is my question.
Right. Well, then you would have to compare it to all of their other fuck-ups, Sam. They fucked up a lot of shit, bud.
Not 100-year anniversary. That's a big fuck up right there.
Check this out, guys. You're gonna like this, you Alan Quatermain diehards. And then they're like, I hope you fall into a pit of lava and explode. Menahem Golem. You bastard. You've ruined my childhood, is what Jackie would say. Yeah. Jackie, any other questions?
No.
Okay. Final recommendations. Sam, let's go with you first.
Yeah, this is a super due. It's really working itself into my Hall of Fame, I think. It's so much, because I'm 3 times in, and it gets more fun every time you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it a due for that reason. I just never get bored watching it. I think I've watched it like 5 times now in the last 6 months.
Right.
And it's funny, and then I always catch new things. Like, God, I don't remember that. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm with you on the catching things. Like, I didn't really piece together what a piece of shit Abubu was the first time I saw this. Like, he's just like, oh, he's crazy. But he's a real fucking dick. And then just all the silly stuff. I think it's great. I think that this is, if somebody was to say that this is the best canon movie picture, I would disagree, but I would not argue with them. I think you can make that declaration. It's fucking fantastic, and it's really accessible as well. This is a movie for everybody. You can show this to basically anybody except for little kids during that one rapey scene. It's fucking great. You are wasting your life if you haven't seen this movie. It's one of our best. So Hall of Fame type level. So do it. Next week is Sam's pick. Sam, what you got dialed up?
I kind of want to just do the next one of these.
I say give it a little bit.
No, I say do it.
Oh, God damn it.
It's not as good, but we're just going to do, it's too much. We're just going to run Alan Quartermain out here. It's on here. We don't want to wait and have it go off again. We're just going to do it.
Okay.
Lost City of Gold is next week.
Okay. All right. We'll check that out. We might have a Corona Soda this week. We've got some news to discuss with our hardcore fans, so check that out if it's out. It'll be either this week or next week. So, anyways, guys, stay safe out there. Wear your masks. Social distance. We don't want this shit flaring up anymore. I'm sick of being inside. God damn it. And get to the chopper.